Hey guys, welcome to today's video. Today we're playing a game that I loved on Nintendo, but I think is going to be completely devastated if they keep the same game, if they port it over the same game, due to the fact that a lot of what Dick Tracy was visuals, you know, the overly colorful, crazy looking enemies and everything that you had. Doing that into a black and white, like, I'm sorry, but like, flat top and mumbles and everything, granted, are going to still kind of have a little bit of their lovableness to it, but without the over-the-top colors and everything, I really feel like it's going to just not quite have the same impact and enjoyment of anybody that's going to want to play a Dick Tracy game on Game Boy. Now, if they changed it up a bit and made a different game, which kind of feels like they did, then yeah, we'll see how it is. I mean, Dick Tracy definitely lends itself really well, all things considered, into the video game realm, you know? But yeah, like I said already, the fact that it's black and white, I mean, half of, like I said, most of what Dick Tracy was really a very colorful, comic booky, game, you know, and that was part of the charm. So doing the game in black and white kind of really takes away from a lot of the Dick Tracy-ness, if that makes a lot of sense. I mean, right now it's already very basic and boring. We're getting a very blasé, you know, level that just keeps repeating itself. We got the same one enemy. Alright, we have safes falling, which the safes falling works for Dick Tracy, all in all. But, I mean, I almost feel like there's no real point. Okay, it does hurt them. We're about to die, so it's good to get some health. Yeah, like, it's just disappointing that, I mean, we're getting very basic enemies, very basic level design. The repetitiveness. I mean, all things considered, the sprite work is still good. Like, from what we've seen before, Dick Tracy still actually looks and feels a lot like actual Dick Tracy. So, that's a very decent win in that situation. The hell? Seriously? That was a thing. But, I mean, controls work very well. It controls good. Oh, that hurt. But all in all, it is it's really disappointing. It's definitely a playable game. It's definitely done well enough. It is definitely a game that you need to, that just memorizing everything. Do we have, yeah, 10 bullets, alright. Alright, obviously that's probably going to fall, yeah. We still got it. We still got it. otherwise, it's very lackluster. Like, you want more from a Dick Tracy game to begin with, and just the black and white doesn't lend itself for Dick Tracy. Dick Tracy is too colorful a game, or, you know, like. And then when you see one trope, you've seen it all. Like, it's just the same thing over and over again. The same two enemies, the same chandelier dropping, bookshelf. I mean, nothing is really changing. And it becomes very monotonous, very boring. I mean, I like the enemy placement with stuff like that, where you're just kind of stuck a little bit. Ooh, had tear gas. I didn't realize they picked up tear gas. So, like, like, what a surprise. The first time is, oh, surprise. And the rest of it is like, oh, again? And then it's like more tropes of now we're just all of a sudden in the sewer. I mean, you gotta hand it to them. At least these enemies change direction of how they're shooting. Like, I'm not really caring about. Then you got some knife throwers. Oh, we all the way back down. like that's silly. I get what they're doing. I understand it because he's pointing his gun as he's doing it. But see, shit like this is annoying. I mean, another trope here and there. It's unfortunate that they did do. And then, you know, we start here. The terrible place to start. Where we didn't have a gun, so now we're taking a lot more damage than we needed to. Alright, we took damage from there, huh? Ah! Alright, where are we starting at? But, I mean, all in all, all things considered, it is still actually a decent enough little game to have some fun on. And it plays well. I feel like taking out the Dick Tracy IP of it and just making it its own entity might have been a little bit better. Because, like I said, like, for me personally, and maybe it's just me and in my head, but Dick Tracy is too colorful of an IP to ever go black and white. And we lose so much of what makes it. Like, I mean, Dick Tracy was flamboyant and, bright, and every enemy that, like, flat top and everything, the bright, vibrant greens and purples and yellows and everything about all the characters is very bright and flashy. And to dumb everything down into a very gray, blobbish thing just really takes away from the Dick Tracy-ness of it all. Yeah, we got some cool characters, and it's still not the worst thing to do, but I really just feel like this should have been just made on Super NES, or NES or Super NES. We did have the one on NES, which was a decent enough little game, had a lot of its issues, but it was still a fun game, and due to the fact that we could see the vibrantness of it all, it was a very well done IP, all things considered. This one, granted, is playable and is not terrible. Controls are good. But other than that, it is a very monotonous, boring. They didn't put much life at all into the game, where the level designs were almost as basic, boring as they could possibly do without just hitting copy and paste and having you walk straight. Like, it really is disappointing. They do the trope of, very poorly placed gunners, and just the way everything goes to where you're going to have to get hit in some spots, unfortunately, which is always a drag when it comes to these games, where they force damage on you to force you to start to get hurt in a couple of spots to kill you. Other weird placements, the tropes of falling stuff, where this game, really comes down to another just memorization game, because there's not a lot going on otherwise. You got the same 2 or 3 enemies throughout the entirety of the very boring basic level, with not a lot going on. It's very, very just humdrum mediocre. Yes, it controls well. Yes, for what it is, it does look good, and the gameplay is there, but it's just nothing else is. The level design, like I said, is just so boring. A lot of it is just, oh, we've seen that again. Oh, let's do, on repeat. You change levels, or you change elevations a little bit, but that's it. And the first level, the one guy throughout the whole thing, it's just like, okay, yay, safes dropping every which way. Okay, I mean, there's no real changing anything up. They took one concept per level and just went with it and just stuck it everywhere, and it just lent itself to very boring, uncreative level and placement design, which really makes the entirety of the game very boring, very drab, very basic. And while it's playable and it's not bad, that just makes it to where it's not as enjoyable as it could have been. And like, there's no real anything to it. Like I said, there's no soul, there's no heart of this game. There's no Dick Tracy-ness to it. There's an IP with some of the characters, but everything else is just so not there that it's really disappointing. So yes, it's playable. Yes, it's an okay game in and of itself if you look past the Dick Tracy-ness of the IP. But other than that, like, it really isn't as enjoyable. It's definitely a game that most ages can play because it is so basic. But it doesn't really, there's nothing there to stand out or differentiate anything. There's nothing to be like, oh wow, that is such a, no. It's just, oh, it's a game. So that's where we are. So anyways, thanks for joining me, guys. Till next time, you guys have a good one.